CNN Turk presenter Nevzin Mengü on Thursday joined a long list of foreign and national journalists who have been publicly singled out and attacked by President Recep Tayyip Erdoğan for their statements, Twitter posts, and news coverage. Mengü attracted Erdoğan's ire after she shared Erdoğan's weekly program on her Twitter account and made some comments about it. Erdoğan's weekly program, among other things, includes a meeting with bus drivers in Ankara. Referring to the president's earlier meetings with taxi drivers and Muhtars, village headmen or elders, Mengü wrote, "Bus drivers and the presidential system, these two are inseparable. It is like two drivers cannot be on the same wheel. Muhtars, taxi drivers, bus drivers, Holy Trinity." Mengü was also referring to Erdoğan's aspirations to switch Turkey's parliamentary system to a presidential system and being the first president under the presidential system. Speaking at the General Assembly of the Bus Drivers Federation in Ankara on Thursday, Erdoğan targeted Mengü, without mentioning her name, accusing her of belittling bus drivers and the presidential system. She even goes further and spits hatred, calling Muhtars, taxi drivers, and bus drivers a holy trinity. "Who are you insulting? It is the nation itself," Erdoğan said, adding that the journalist is actually revealing her own disgrace with her remarks. In his speech, Erdoğan also pointed out that the journalist in question is the daughter of a Republican People's Party, CHP, deputy, referring to former CHP deputy Şahin Mengü. It is very common for Erdoğan to single out journalists and target them publicly for their criticism of the government or Erdoğan. At a news conference during the Gezi Park protests in May 2013, Reuters reporter Birsen Altil received her share of reprimanding from Erdoğan when she asked the Prime Minister whether he would soften his stance toward the protesters, whom he referred to as a group of looters. "What would be an example of a softened stance? If you teach me that, I will speak accordingly," said an angry Erdoğan. When Altil said the protesters were uneasy with some of the government's practices, Erdoğan said threateningly, "At the moment, there is 50% of Turkey," referring to the pro-government electorate voting for his party, whom we held off with difficulty from their houses from confronting the Gezi protesters, accusing the reporter of misinforming people about the situation on the ground. In June 2013, BBC Turk's correspondent Selin Girit was personally rebuked by Erdoğan after she shared a statement from a citizen participating in citizens' forums, neighborhood meetings that started in various districts after Gezi. Erdoğan accused the correspondent of having made the statement herself. The representative of an international news establishment, who is a Turkish citizen, tweets, and you know what she says. She says, "Let's not be the man who stands, but be the man who stops. Let's stop the economy. Don't consume anything for 6 months and they will listen to us. God forbid. What kind of insanity is this? What kind of a mentality is this? Can a person be involved in such a conspiracy against her own country? Can this be called freedom of the press? Can this be called journalism?" he asked. In November 2013, Finnish journalist Tom Kankkonen also faced rebuke by Erdoğan when he asked at a news conference in which Finnish Prime Minister Jyrki Katainen was present about the government's plans to ban mixed-gender student houses. "This friend was given a special mission to ask this question," Erdoğan said to Kankkonen, adding that his government has never interfered with citizens' private lives. Erdoğan's remarks caused him to receive a statement from Union of Journalists in Finland, UJF, which said the question asked by the Finnish reporter revealed the approach of the Turkish government toward freedom of expression and the press. In April 2014, Zaman correspondent Tuba Mizraçlı was told by Erdoğan to change her job and leave the Zaman Daily during a press conference after she asked Erdoğan if former EU Affairs Minister İcminbel would be expelled from the AK party over a leaked recording in which he is heard making fun of the Quran during a phone conversation with a friend. In June 2014, CNN Istanbul correspondent Ivan Watson was also publicly targeted by Erdoğan after he was detained on air during the Gezi anniversary protests. They have nothing to do with free, impartial, and independent media. They are given special tasks. They serve as agents. That is why they are here, Erdoğan said, referring to Watson. The CNN correspondent subsequently left Turkey. In August 2014, Erdoğan lashed out at prominent journalist Amberin Zaman during a campaign rally in southern Turkey, calling her shameless and a militant for her earlier remarks that Erdoğan condemned as an insult to Muslims and his electorate. While interviewing main opposition leader Kemal Kılıçdaroğlu on TV, Zaman, who works for Taraf and The Economist, questioned if a Muslim society is able to question the authorities. A smear campaign against Zaman was launched on social media by pro-government users minutes after she made the statement, condemning her for insulting Islam and Muslims, as well as supporters of the government. Erdoğan openly targeted her in Malatya, calling her a shameless militant woman disguised as a journalist. In September 2014, New York Times reporter Selen Yinsu came under attack by the pro-government media and on social media platforms after Erdoğan lashed out at a report she wrote for the New York Times. Today's Zaman columnist Can Yilmaz, an associate professor of political science at FETA University, also became one of Erdoğan's targets last November for his criticism of the government during a meeting abroad. Erdoğan called Yilmaz a traitor in Istanbul, without naming the columnist directly.